I've come to a simple realization, and that is God is love. And it's not that he acts in love or he just wants people to act with love. He is literally love. With that understanding, it helps put things in more perspective. It helps you understand things a little easier. Because it's not all as complicated as it's made out to be. I cannot believe that it's this complicated to know God. You know, there's 1,000,001 religions out there that all say that if you're not part of one religion, the right religion, you're going to hell. I don't like those odds, bro. I can't play those odds. I can't. I can't learn about all the religions, let alone participate in all of them to decide which one's the best. It's just a luck of a draw. Honestly, wherever you grow up, predominant religion, guess what? You're probably going to be that religion. But if you believe that God is love, it lets you take a step back. It lets you stop staring at the trees and look at the forest. People of God act in love, live with love, and treat each other with love. Because when you have love in your heart, you have God in your heart. It's really that simple. It's not a matter of if you go to church, if you go to temple. It's not a matter if you practice worship on Saturday or Sunday, or don't practice it at all in a formal setting. It's not if you kneel, sit cross-legged, wear a turban. Doesn't matter. Do you have God? Do you have love in your heart? Because if you do, how can you be without God? How could you be anything but a child of God? It's kind of baffling to me that people get so caught up in their identities, in their sense of tribalism, their sense of wanting to belong to a group, and their group is the right group. Well, I don't know if that's exactly what God would have wanted. You know, spirituality and knowing the divine isn't exactly supposed to be a popularity contest. But this is the problem. This is the problem when people try to interpret divine text or instruction. Not only are you trusting that that text and instruction hasn't been manipulated over the course of time by fallible humans, not God, humans, you're missing the point. But maybe that's why God lets this happen. Only the purest of souls can see through the filter, will get through the filter. Only the people who, honest to God, want to practice love will understand. If you have ever talked bad about another religious group because they're not you, stated that another person, a good person, won't get into heaven because they're not part of your religious group, I implore you to rethink your approach, because you are not participating in the unity and compassion that God is and is telling you to live by. And if you take that to heart, you would understand that a good person is a good person. A good person is God's person, no matter what they believe in. No matter where they come from, their traditions, if their message is in line with God's message, they are with God. They are with you. Because people forget that this is a war going on. It's a holy war going on between good and evil. And if you read Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, one of the most popular and well-known strategies of war is to divide and conquer. And for the devil and the forces opposing God, what better way to build your army while reducing the size of God's army by recruiting those from the God side to the devil's side? And they don't even know what they're doing. The devil is the entity of deception and division. Period. And while he's evil, he's a master at doing it. So masterful in his craft, you don't even know. Because if you have hate in your heart for a person of God, you are doing and participating in the very activity of which the devil wants to do. If you have hate in your heart for a good Muslim, you are not with God at that point. If you have hate in your heart for a good Buddhist, you are not with God at that point. If you have hate in your heart for anybody, anyone at all, who lives in accordance with God and his message, but doesn't necessarily practice the human, man-made religion that you subscribe to, I don't know if the problem is with them or with you. But the devil is out here, man. The devil is out here. And the devil is hate. This is really, when someone says a battle between God and the devil, good and evil, it's really love and hate. And it's a spiritual battle because it happens within us. It happens within us. The devil wants to promote division, wants to promote fear, separateness. Because when you have duality, it's easy to hate people. It's easy to do something to someone when they are not in your group. You do not have a vested interest in them. By pushing away unity and promoting duality, it makes it that much easier to slip. And this is the greatest deception ever crafted. And you know, this battle going on between good and evil isn't a fixed one. If you are a person of God one day, doesn't mean you'll be a person of God the next. You have to continually keep love in your heart, or else you could find yourself on the other side of the battle. But please, I just encourage you to take a second thought and think about what you're really doing when you're putting down other religions. It might seem not a big deal, because from your parents' point of view, you're on the right side, they're on the wrong side. But have you ever considered that they're saying the same thing about you? And what happens if you die one day and you go to the pearly gates or whatever you think is going to happen at the end of your life, and God says, oh, okay, James, looking down the list. You were doing great, but wrong religion. Sorry. Have a nice time in hell. Is that a destiny you want to participate in? Seems a little too complicated for me. It's the message that counts. Don't get caught up in the idiosyncrasies of things. Don't get caught up in all the individual steps. You know the person that goes to church religiously every Sunday and goes to confession all the time, but beats his wife, his children. You know that's not living in accordance with God. Be real with yourself. If you follow all the steps of religion to a T, you know that if you were a bad person in your heart, you're not going to make it. So stop holding that double standard to people. Look in their heart. And that will tell you if they're a person of God or not. Not at the place of which they worship or the name of their religion. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it has to stop because it's dividing all of God's people and pitting them against each other. And when we're separated, the devil can take control. Evil can take control. That's all I got. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.